Charlotte Minion Crabtree, known as Lotta, was born November 7th, 1847 in New York City to a bookseller named John Ashworth Crabtree and Mary Ann Livesey. John left for San Francisco in 1851 to take part in the California Gold Rush. Mary Ann sold their bookshop, and she and Lotta traveled the Panama Isthmus during pre-canal days and ventured by land before a second ship, where they were to meet John. However, this was not to be, and the two in desperation trusted a group of entertainers whom they met and were kindly invited into their home. The child with red hair named Lotta learned her first theater lessons. John contacted his family, informing them of the poor panning in the creek beds around Sutter's Mill. He persuaded Mary Ann to join him in the boomtown of Grass Valley, California, where he sought to start a boarding house. Here, Lotta befriended a dancer and actress named Lola Montez, who lived across the street. Lola was of Irish descent and mainly performed in Spanish styles. She was known for her spider dance, which enticed men to shower her with gold nuggets. Before this, she was known for being the mistress of King Ludwig I of Bavaria. At the outset of the 1848 German Revolution, Lola fled, acting along the way from New York to San Francisco. The song, Whatever Lola Wants, came from this seductive performer who inspired Lotta so profoundly to follow in her footsteps. Lotta studied under Lola before the Crabtrees moved again to start another boarding house in Rabbit Creek, a mining community located a day's ride north. Lotta found an opportunity on a tavern stage with the Robinson family of performers, known for their comedy, burlesque, and drama. Still in her early youth, Lotta picked up the banjo and toured the California mining camps, singing and dancing. She was a hit, as the audience welled up in tears thinking of their own children back home. In the latter half of the 1850s, Lotta and her family settled in San Francisco, where Rowena Grannis Steele had just opened a saloon called the Gaiety's Temple of Mirth and Song. Looking for talent, Rowena brought on Lotta and Louise Pauline, mentoring them in their early teens. By 12, Lotta had made quite a name for herself and was known as Miss Lotta, the San Francisco favorite. Her mother managed her schedule and collected the earnings. When the gold became too heavy for her leather bag, it was transferred to a steamer trunk. The silver boomtowns in Nevada welcomed Lotta in 1863, where she had a performance residency. Her youthful spirit, clowning and mugging for the crowd, twisting a finger in her dimple, you got to think early Shirley Temple here, could hardly keep up with all the toss coins, stuffing them in the top of her stockings. Lotta toured the East Coast in several plays in her variety show. The papers were all expressing their love for Lotta, who now at the age of 20 had become the nation's darling. An adaptation of Charles Dickens' The Old Curiosity Shop called Little Nell and the Marchioness was written especially for her. She was the belle of Broadway, and this success led to her building a theater company and touring around other areas of the U.S. and Europe. For subsequent years after, her march, waltzes, gallop, and polka were played on piano repeatedly. In her late 20s, she was earning $5,000 a week and was the highest paid actress in the country. Her mother continued to oversee her schedule and finances, as well as booking, locating, and organizing support actors. Outside of real estate investments, Lotta supported local charities. On September 9, 1875, Lotta gifted to San Francisco a fountain at the corner of Market and Kearny Streets. With much fanfare, the ceremony included military regiments, the mayor James Otis, and a delighted crowd. Lotta was not able to attend, but sent a representative. She was surprised to discover how important the monument would become as a meeting point during the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. In 1885, Lotta's mother built an 18-room mansion for her daughter on the shores of Lake Hopatcong, in the Millionaire Row of Breslin Park. They called it a toll tryst, Lotta spelled backwards, and tryst being that of a private rendezvous. Perhaps Lotta's mother wanted her to consider marriage, or felt guilty about creating such a busy schedule with no time for relationships. Nevertheless, the Crabtrees held court during the summer, relaxed and rode horses, and Lotta took some time to learn French and pursue painting. She traveled with her mother and brothers to Paris most of the time. At the age of 42, while performing in Wilmington, Delaware, she fell and sustained an injury that would plague her the rest of her life. She tried a comeback in 1891, but was forced to semi-retire due to her health and change in public interest. In 1915, she made a final appearance at the Lotta Crabtree Day in San Francisco. Her final years were spent at her newly owned Brewster Hotel in Boston. She died on September 25, 1924, at the age of 76. She was buried in the Woodlawn Cemetery in Bronx, New York, and left an estate of $4 million that continues today in helping veterans, aging actors, and animals. Lotta Crabtree will be remembered as America's first superstar. This has been Biographies of the West. My name is Lorin Morgan-Richards. Thanks for watching.